who lives in a pineapple under the back day. Oh my gosh, we are freaking set with setting things off right for the week. Man, got up early, got quite a bit work done, got a really good meal in, had a call with my coach, with my content coach, not bodybuilding coach, and I must say it was a very productive call. We got a lot of ground covered as far as the type of content that y'all are going to want to see, and in summation, we are elevating our content game, and particularly the kind of content that I'm doing. And so what do I mean by that? I basically am going to be recording a lot of my content, like the B-rolls and everything that go into it, a lot more eloquently, where I've been recording kind of just on a, kind of like a coaching to client basis, where it's like head on, I'm just talking to the camera. But now we're going to be recording content in a very creative way, where it's more of has a cinematic feel to it, where it's almost like each reel or short form kind of content is going to be like a movie. And I'm pretty excited for it, because it's going to just take the delivery of my content to a whole different level, where the knowledge base, I'm always learning, and I'm always humbled by how much I don't know. But I would say that I have a very good set of knowledge when it comes to training, nutrition, stress management. That's the basis of what I do. I help people prepare for stage, win their pro card, and then win their pro shows. So that being said, the knowledge is there. It's just a matter of making it a lot more digestible for the general public, and making it a lot more entertaining to watch, because a lot of the knowledge, most people already have a pretty good idea of what to do for nutrition training, and if you don't, that's where this content really comes into play as well. It's a very basic in its premise, except for the different nuances, with the different supplements and enhancements that you could be taking, and then how various types of training and nutrition work for different individuals. Long story short, the basis of nutrition and training is simple in its general concepts, but what makes it complicated is the individual and what the individual is going through. So that being said, we're going to be elevating a lot of the content, and so now on the bodybuilding side of things, this is where it gets interesting too, because this is the first time that my coach has ever done this with my programming. So he's doing this new thing where he's going to be programming for me on a day-by-day basis. He's literally creating the program based on how I feel in real time, and that's pretty exciting, because I'm used to creating programs for my athletes on a week-by-week basis. So it's like, how do you feel at the end of the week? And then that way, I get my feedback from them, I take my notes, and then from there we create a whole new program specifically for them. But with this day-by-day programming, it has a lot more attention to detail. So it's honestly, it's going to be interesting, because it's making me rethink how I need to coach too, and how much more attention I need to pay to my clients, because I check in at least twice a week with them. I at least have once in the middle of the week when they're in the midst of it all, doing the training, the nutrition, whatever they need to do to get to their goals. I check in with them once then, and then I check in with them on the actual check-in day, and that's kind of how I've been running things for the better part of a year now. So it's pretty interesting to see how we're going to change everything, and elevate everything for the better. And it's funny, I was just talking to one of my coaches about this, and Alex Hermazi had this new post where it's like, once you reach this domain of work, it's almost like the work itself is preparing you for the next level, where it's like, yeah, it seems like a lot of work now, but imagine when you get a whole new set of clients, or imagine when you need to start hiring coaches because you have too many clients. So it's like, the more results you deliver to everybody, the more work you're going to have at the next level, because you're just getting that much better and that much stronger. So it's almost like life is just throwing you these level ups, so to speak, where it's like a video game. You kind of get to this, you get to a new level. It gets to be easy because you get used to it, and then from there, it throws you another bone for leveling up your game, and so it gets a little more difficult, and then you just keep going. So it's almost like you kind of figure out these systems that'll work for a certain level, and then from those systems that'll work, that's when you start leveling up your game even more so. So that being said, we're at the level where this is challenging me quite a bit with, I'm producing quite a bit of content, but at the same time, I know the content can be better. So we're in that evolution phase of making the content better. But that being said, we're going to be hitting some back today, and I'm excited for it because I have no idea what to expect for this program. Now, I do want to let y'all know I'm going to be taking this next week off completely from weight training. And this is the first time in about like seven or 8 years of solid training that I'm actually taking a full week off, because I'll be honest, I love weight training. It's so much fun. I just love the process of it all. And that being said, it's a little difficult to let go of. And I'll be honest, it's a bittersweet moment where I know my body needs the rest. So I'll let it rest so that I can come back better than ever. But at the same time, I just freaking love weightlifting. I just love getting in there and throwing around some heavy shit. So this is gonna be a little tough, but it's what's needed. It's not about trying to just stay with one thing all the time. Like that's not really what this is about, because at that point it's just a freaking addiction. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm more about the evolution of everything, including my own evolution, as opposed to an addiction to something. So that being said, we're getting ready for this last week of weightlifting, so I'm gonna savor every set, every rep, and we're just gonna freaking ball out. And the next week, full rest, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be all healed, and from there, we'll come back better than ever. But that being said, let's go hit some back, my friends. All right. So the plan for today, as I just found out upon walking into this workout, 5 sets, 9 reps, every exercise. And so, except for this first one, we're doing 5 sets, crazy 8s. So 8 quarter reps, 8 half reps, 8 full reps. And man, this gets me every time. There's not been once that I've felt not humbled by this. I will say that. So right now, we're doing chest supported T-bar row, crazy 8s, and then we're going bat wings. Really good. I actually just checked the form on this from my coach, and I was doing it slightly wrong, where I have my arms bent just a little too much, so I let them extend, just until they're, like a partially bent, like not full 90 degrees, not like 45 degrees, but a little bit more towards 0 degrees, like in between 0 and 45. So about right there. those felt great because I could actually feel the armpit muscles going from my lat all the way to my shoulder. That whole region was just lighting up left and right. So let's and then we have hip pulls right after that, and those are a little bit different too, because instead of doing, you know, my regular seated cable hip pull with just a regular lat pull down bar, I'm doing it with a rope, standing, and we're making it to where it's almost like in a pullover. When you go down, you can fully stretch your lats, and then when you're actually in that contraction phase of the movement, you're bringing your body up just a little bit so you can get a little extra squeeze out of those lats. So it's pretty similar with the hip pull, except, you know, obviously you'll see in a second, it's more of a rowing motion, but those are feeling good. But that being said, we've been throwing in some abs in between this giant set because, man, this is a lot. Adding just that one extra set as opposed to 4 sets last week, it takes quite a bit out of you. So this has been fun. We did that and went to the restroom just to give my back a little more of a rest, and now we're on our 5th and final set. So let's freaking go nuts. Oh my. Ooh. That's good. Oh man. Alright. Let's see how many bat powers we can get from these bat wings. Freaking Bruce Wayne. Let's see. Let's go. Yeah, we got a little more. Let's get some nipples. Alright, last set of hip pulls. You ever had one of the songs that come on just on random shuffle from your playlist, but it's not from your playlist, it's just shuffle from everything, and then you come in contact with a song that you haven't come in contact with in a while, you forgot how good it was? That just happened to me. So I'm seeing it as fuel for this last set. So let's Whew. Oh man, yeah, we got heavy hip pulls. We're gonna see how full stack pans out, and then probably do a drop set. Oh my god. Ooh. Oh yeah. Freaking good. Alright. Last set with a new song on reverse lat pull downs. Whew. Man, I am savoring every last set every set and every rep this week, because man, next week it's necessary, but you know, we need the break, so it's gonna be an interesting one. See what we're most grateful for, see what we're gonna miss the most. But yeah, for now, let's go freaking crazy. Let's get these reverse lat pull downs in last set. That's good. Yeah, what I've noticed most on these is my traps like to take over for the entirety of the movement, whereas, you know, lat pull downs, you're generally supposed to keep your shoulders down, not too far down to where it messes with your form, but just enough to where it puts all the tension on your lats. And I've been noticing I've been putting a lot of the tension mainly at the first part of the movement into my traps. So keeping the shoulders down, isolating the lats, man, it's fun, man. I just love this, you know. It's like critiquing what I can do more of, or what I need to work on, and then, you know, just seeing how the body moves the most fluently. That's one of my main passions. So it's gonna be interesting. It'll be nice next week because we'll be camping, so be out in nature, and that'll really help as far as taking my mind off the gym. But notice at this point, it's man, this is, I mean, obviously it's healthy, you know, it's like muscle building, fat losing, and then heart health, all the right things, right? You know, what a lot of people are going for, and you know, to live a long, healthy life, that's probably what you should be going for. But it gets to a point where I'm relying on it. You know, I'm relying on it to feel a certain way instead of actually, you know, doing what's healthiest for me. So, man, we're gonna be taking this week off, probably going into the doctor, get a scan, and then just see what's really up, because, man, it's been years with this injury. So I need to, and the second I think it's healing and it's feeling better, it comes back around tenfold. So that being said, it's probably some type of deep strain. But enough thinking about that. Let's we got one last set, lower half pull-ups, then we'll get some posing in. So let's go do that last set. All right, last set, lower half pull-ups. Whew. Last back set for the next 2 weeks, so let's freaking make it a good one. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh. We got a little more. Oh. Oh. No. Oh my. Ooh. That is freaking good for today. Whew. Let's go get some posing in, some cardio, and then Costco. All right, matey. We are officially done. Good old-fashioned back day. Feeling good, and man, towards the very end, that was freaking gnarly. Supersetting those reverse lat pull downs and the lower half pull-ups. That was, I mean, it's essentially, it's a very similar movement. So doing those back to back was freaking gnarly. I had to take a little more rest, but let's see how it's all put together now. I guess it makes sense to go from the back, right? Alright, so strain's about right here. So if you see anything kind of out of whack, that's why. Let's check the abs now. We did hit them, so just did a few rope crunches at the cable, so just gotta see how they're panning out. Alright, that's a freaking wrap for today. But that being said, we got major meal prep going on tonight, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We gotta make sure that we're just treating our back as lightly as possible, because it's interesting right now. It seems dark and grim with the injury actually there, but going into the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long I need to let it heal, and then coming back better than ever, that's the part that's going to be fun. And I want to see how much better it'll, this is almost like a recalibration of everything. I want to make sure that everything is in tip-top order before we really go ahead and push the extra supplements and anything else that we need to grow as much as possible. So that being said, we are freaking set with this back day. We're gonna go to Costco right now, get some meal prep stuff. But that's a wrap for today. I'll see y'all tomorrow for some arms. Thanks for all the support, my friends.